welcome. This is going to be quite technical, what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about logs. And logs are, for most of the people, boring. But what we've seen the last slide from Kenny was data-driven. And data-driven is the future. It's going to be data-driven security. It's going to be data-driven performance. And therefore, I want to just show you and give you some time in the end to ask some questions, what you can do with the logs which are already existing. So we're Global Dots. We are Global Dots. We're a global system integrator working for airlines, but big retailers as well, and help to get our customers towards the next tech stack in there to bring them the latest innovations, and we do hunt for latest innovation. We got 12 new solutions introduced in our portfolio. We have now over 80. I think actually we have over 100 vendors in our portfolio. And we've been in the business for 20 years. I've been here for 13 years, and 13 years ago we were 3. Now we're around 150 and globally. And from the dot to the dots, that's the difference. And you see, we do quite a bit for airlines, we do quite a bit for airports, but for other ones as well. And for everyone, if you run a global or even a regional business, the most important thing on security and on performance is CDN. Who of you know what a CDN is? Who of you don't? CDN is Content Delivery Network. Very simple, global distributed proxy servers, 400,000 in 200,000 cities, and delivering the content locally. This is the most crucial thing. This is the edge. This is where security is supposed to happen, and this is where logs are happening too. CDNs, every big company runs a CDN. Every big airline runs a CDN before. The most prominent ones are Akamai, Cloudflare, Fastly, CloudFront, and so on. Everybody has it. If you look at it, nobody serves the content from their own service. It's from a content delivery network. And these CDNs and the security which is in there do produce logs. And these logs are the data. This is the gold which you have, where you can really tweak the performance and tweak your security. If you look at webs, apps, applications, they all are run through a CDN. And any performance issue is seen on the CDN. So if you have outages, it's the CDN where you see it. Download times, geo-specific issues. If you have a problem somewhere in New Zealand or in Thailand or wherever, that's it. Security is coming to the edge. You want to keep the bad guys as far away as possible. We're in the airline industry. Bots is the big thing. Everybody knows it. Everybody writes their own bots, and everybody protects themselves against bots. It's happening at the edge. Traditionally, you would put all these logs in very large tools, which are very, very expensive. And the more logs you have, the more you pay. Therefore, it was not really efficient to do log analysis in a real-time thing. Now, technology has evolved, and now we're there that you can really process your logs in real time, see dashboards, and get alerts before things are actually happening. Well, I just said that, so it's about volume, it's about veracity and velocity and variety. So there is next generation technology which is data-driven, which does, I would say ML. Whoever says AI, I don't believe that really people do AI. It's ML, machine learning. And everybody knows aviation, and we've been working with aviation now for the last 12 years, is the most attacked vector in the world. It's funny. It's not the banks. It's not retail. No, it's aviation. Everybody attacks everybody all the time. It's either competition or you want to do certain things. Bots are used to monitor the prices of everybody else. If you have bots, there's people booking anomalously, and you don't have the access to the passenger's data. Then everybody knows about ATOs, account takeovers. That's an easy one. You buy username passwords, hit them to the login and see if they work or not, and then sell them to someone else. And then you take away the mileage or take away personal data. And last but not least, for the airlines, the most important thing is they are losing the customer. They are losing the revenue because somebody else is doing the business. Somebody else is selling the insurance, the cars, and the hotels. The real question is, how can we make this more secure, faster, and cheaper at the same time with modern technology? What also is a very important thing is the performance of your website. People will move away if they are not there, and you have to provide high security and at the same time lower the cost. Innovative CDN monitoring, you can do several things. First of all, you close the gate so nobody comes in for known vulnerabilities. Second, you keep the bad guys out. And third, which is the most important thing, you see what's happening in real time, and if there's anomalies, you can do something. You can mitigate, and you can mitigate in real time. The same is on performance. Is marketing having a big sales, and we've got 90% discount, and now everybody hits my site, or is it the bad guys who do something else? Where are my customers come from? How is conversion rate? And how are my KPIs met? This is done with CDN logs right at the edge and in real time. This is, you see there's an anomaly, website traffic has spiked, and first of all, you don't know if it's the bad guys or is it customers. What have we done? Most of the time, if you use legacy monitoring solutions, you will see that the next day when the batch is run and you see, oh, yesterday we had a big spike. If we had an outage, we would have seen it. Monitoring traffic on websites and apps are one of the most important things in order to keep uptime and to keep safe. There are bad guys you want to mitigate very fast. What we have done with several airlines, putting this in place in front of their CDNs, is 0% downtime, which is the most important thing. It's horrible to have downtimes on your website or your app. If there are attacks, we see them so fast that we do 1 to 2 minutes mean time to repair. MTTR, it's a very important time frame, 2 to 3 minutes to mitigate really, really big attacks. And last but not least, did you guys know that around 60 to 70% of the whole traffic on your websites are not humans? They are bots. They scrape you. They're looking to get into your accounts and do other things. So if you're able to detect if the traffic is real humans, and you all see these, am I a robot? Where is this guard? How many gardens are in these pictures? These are horrible things. People move away. There is things how you get rid of that without that. And that's thank you. I wanted to rush very fast, and now I wanted to go if somebody has a question. If nobody has a question, I will keep on talking. Don't worry.
Because you were talking about the bots, but there are some companies,
yes,
agents and others, they use those bots as part of their business model.
Exactly.
So who's going to win the race between airlines who are trying to prevent that, or all the intermediaries who are trying to get all that information?
I think
how is it going to work?
It's not a race. There are people, and airlines allow bots to crawl their websites. They allow people who gather price monitoring to get into, and you can whitelist these bots. The problem is if it's too much. If you search for the same price every second, that's a different thing. If you search every 5 minutes, that's one thing. The other thing, is it a race? Of course it's a race sometimes, but there's the whole industry is battling themselves, and the industry should look at that if that's the right way to do it. And we've seen, I think the pandemic changed some things. The bad guys didn't go to bed. They kept on working. But there's there's bad guys, there's gray guys. You need to have OTAs. You need to have all other things. And all of the airline industry is working together. We know that. It's competition, but working together. But if it is dangerous for your IT infrastructure, if the bots are getting that big that your website would go down because of the bots, obviously you have to do something with it. And one more thing which is very important in saving costs. Bots are doing searches on the airline air page. Everybody who runs an airline and doesn't have his own booking system knows that they have to pay for the searches. So usually there's a ratio between one booking, 10 searches. If somebody else is searching on the backside, you know, Amadeus, Sabra, and so on, airlines have to pay overages in high time, in very, very big amount of monies. Therefore, this has to be stopped because you losing money on the flight. It's anonymous bookers. Somebody is searching for the flights, and you have to pay for it. And there's a passenger, and you lose money. This is not going to work, and there has to be something to stop that. That will be my answer to that. Any more questions? So, it's very easy to implement these things. We have a booth, and 1262, come over. We can show you something how it works. It's a much cheaper solution than anyone would think to monitor logs in real time. It's something you don't have to store the logs like you did before in index. The latest technology is that they look at the data, index it later, and you get dashboards already before something would happen.